Go ahead. Hey, Crosswinds family, welcome. Cooking with, today you're cooking with Pastor Stephen and Dre. Oh, you saw his hand there. Anyways, he's also taping right at the moment. But anyways, we're cooking gumbo for you today. And we're starting to get started. We're doing a lot of chopping right now of different types of onions and green peppers and celery, those types of things. We'll show you to that in a little while. And we're also right now, we're starting to grill off, or not grill, but so it's not sauteing, Chef. Chef, it's not sauteing. We're searing off our sausages right at the moment. And the reason why I do this is because we are going to use the juices to be a part of the roux that we're going to make here in a little while. So as the sausages break, a little bit of the juice gets into the pan, and then we go ahead and use that as part of the flavoring for the roux. So that's what we're up to right now. We'll come back in a few minutes after we get all these seared off. All right, so we've cooked off all the sausages, so they're just seared. They're not actually even completely done at this point in time. So we just seared them off. Some of the juices got into the pans, and now what we've done is we've put 3 cups of flour in each one of the pans. Now this is for our big group that we're doing for tomorrow, where we're going to be feeding over 100 people. So on crosswindchicago.life, where the recipe is, that's for 10 to 12 people, and if it's smaller than that, then you just have to lessen that. Then what I do is I take them and I put them into the oven, and I have the oven preheated at 400 degrees, and I throw them in the oven, and then I leave it in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And that way what happens is then all the flour will get brown, and then once we take it out, then we'll be able to add the chicken broth to that and make a roux out of it. But we'll also have it on some low heat on the stove also. So we put it in there for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll take it out and we'll let you see it, what it looks like.
Hello, good people. So while the roux is being made, I'm going to start working on cutting the sausage. Pause for all the people out there, that sounds kind of weird. But what you want to do is cut it on the bias, or not cut it on the bias, whatever you want to do.
Different knife.
Yes. Yeah. So if you have a better knife, it'll come out looking better than this. But this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple minutes. I don't want to bore you. So when we come back, this is not my recipe. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a sous chef to the great Pastor Stephen. So we'll be doing something. Whenever we do, we'll see you there.
That was so cute.
Okay, so our flour has been in the oven. Ours went a little bit longer than 10 minutes because we had to add extra flour to it. So we're going to take it out now. And you want it to have a little bit of a nutty smell to it. And once you get that nutty smell to it, then you'll know that it's ready. And we want to break it up a little bit because once it gets in there, it gets a little hard. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add chicken broth. Now, gumbo, I also noticed that some other people used beef broth, so you don't necessarily have to just do chicken broth. But once you do that, you want to start, and you notice that it's already starting to turn that brown color. And so you just want to slowly keep adding it in, and as we add it in, it's going to be a full roux by the time we get all said and done with it. But yeah, you got to keep stirring. Can you light the pilot?
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That hurt bad.
Ever seen any grown man cry?
Can you hit that for me there, Dre?
Oh.
No.
Oh,
Which one do you turn on?
I was turning on that one.
Turn on this one here.
Maybe I should.
So as you do this, it is going to clump when you first start doing it. And it hurts. But you want to just keep stirring it, keep stirring it.
You want me to take over?
Yeah,
You know how to do it.
Okay, we're back. Our roux is pretty close to being done. It's nice and got a golden brown to it. And it's still a little clumpy, but that's okay. When we throw it into the pot with the water, it'll all thin out for us. But it'll also stay thick too. So yeah, so it's looking great. But for the last probably 5 minutes, we've just been stirring off and on. Dre take a turn, I took a turn. And so yeah, so it's been off and on for the last about 5 minutes. We just have kept stirring and throwing in the chicken broth. And so we have another one to do. And so we'll come back and talk to you about the next step after we get the next one done. All right, so we got the roux done, and now we're gonna sweat off our veggies. And so I put in a little bit of canola oil on the bottom. You can use whatever kind of oil you have. I've also got a bunch of diced green peppers. I already did one pot here. Green peppers, we have onions, and also celery. And so those are your three things. Later on we put in okra, but that's at the very, very end. Okra adds flavor, but it also helps to thicken it if there's still a little thickening that has to go at that point in time. Then what you do is you put it on here. I already put a pot on, and in here you're just going to sweat off the veggies without burning them. And so it just takes a few minutes to go ahead and do that, to kind of sweat them down. And then we're going to be adding some water to it, and then our roux to it. So we'll come back here once we get everything sweated down and show you what that looks like at that point in time. All right, there's Chef Dre. And what we've done here is we have sweated off our vegetables, celery, green pepper, and onion once again. And now we're starting to add water into the pots. This will help the cooking process, and you want to bring the pot to a boil. Once the pot comes to the boil, then we're going to add in the roux. Now it's going to take a few minutes to get the pot to the boil, but that's what we're waiting for now. And so we're just getting ready to add in water into this one here. And you can see I got some nice water. It's cold water coming out. And then we're just going to take, and this is a half-gallon pitcher, so we're going to do probably about 4 of these, about 2 gallons into this big pot here. And that's going to then cook off, as I said, come to a boil, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how to put the roux in at that time. When you think the roux is done, it's still not done. You just gotta keep stirring it. Just keep stirring it. You gotta get all those chunks out. Just keep going. Your arm is gonna feel like it's gonna fall off, but you just gotta keep going. Woo! Stir! Thank you. Right, so we have 2 pots already boiling. Now, remember, you're not gonna have this much going on at the same time. You'll have a smaller pot with the roux, and you'll just be able to take it and then dump it right on into your pot. But I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start just putting it right on into the pot. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to start stirring that in. And that's going to all thicken up. And it doesn't matter if it gets wet or not, because it's all going into the pot. Because I'm using just a cup. You won't have to use a cup, like I said. You'll just be able to take it. It should be hot still. Ours kind of got a little cool. So the best way to do it is to get both of them boiling at the same time. So you can just take it and just dump the roux right into the pot at the same time once it's boiling. All right, so I'm going to take my whisk, and I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to start just stirring all the roux in to the pot. And I'm going to turn this down to a medium heat. So that way things can start thickening up for us on our roux. And so there's going to be once you just want it to get like it's okay if it's a little runny at this point in time, because as it continues to boil, it'll thicken up more and more as it keeps going. So yeah, so you just want to keep stirring them and keep letting that roux do its work in thickening up inside of the pot. And so we'll come back in a little while and show you what it looks like at that point in time. All right, so if you can come over here, you'll see that we got a rolling boil, and it's starting to thicken up with that roux that is in there. And so what we're going to do now is start adding our spices. And so we want, for you guys, I think it's just 2 tablespoons, teaspoons of salt. But for us, we're actually adding a lot more than that. So we're doing 5 teaspoons in each one of the pots. You can see this one is now boiling, so we're also going to hit that one with the salt also. Obviously, later on you can salt to flavor, but you want to get it in there so that the salt can get into all the vegetables and also the sausage and also the chicken when we add that in here in a little while. Also, cayenne pepper. Now, cayenne pepper can be very spicy. And so you need to do it to what you want, okay? Now, the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of it. That's going to be about a mild flavor. So if you want a little bit spicier, then go ahead and throw in an extra teaspoon. If you want less, then just throw in 1. For us, we're going to throw in 5 in each one of these pots. And then we can also throw in a little bit extra later on also of the cayenne pepper.
Put that pepper in there.
Woo!
Don't be scared.
Come on.
Don't be scared.
I personally kind of like things a little bit spicy because of my days in South America. Everything had pepper in it, which made things very, very hot. My family, though, my wife and my daughter, are not too much fans of the heat. So we try to just probably, if I was cooking this at home, we would just throw in 1 teaspoon for them. That pot's not boiling yet, so we will. That's good, and then we'll put in the roux in that one as it's starting to thicken up. This one's really starting to thicken up over here. And then we also want to throw in some black pepper. It's just a dash of black pepper. For us, we're going to throw in 2 teaspoons into each one, just to give it some good flavor. And then we also want to throw in some, this is some granulated garlic. You can also use garlic powder. I think that's what it calls for, but we kind of prefer the granulated. So we're going to throw in 5 into this for nice bit of flavor. I kind of like garlic flavored, but you can do it to taste. That's nice things about spices, that you can kind of do it to what you like. If you don't really like garlic that much, then just add just a little bit, just to have a little bit of that flavor for that traditional gumbo. If you love garlic, then you might want to throw in an extra teaspoon. So just do what feels good to you concerning that. I'm almost out of garlic. Tell you how much we like garlic, because we cook with it every single week. We cook here together.
Amen.
All right, and then one last thing that you want to throw in, and that is some bay leaves. For you want to just probably throw in 2 bay leaves. We're going to throw in about 4 or 5. into the pot. That's just going to give us some good flavor. The one thing that you do want to do is once you have it all cooked and ready to serve, then you want to make sure that you find those bay leaves. They're not good to eat. So you want to find the bay leaves, but they add great flavor, especially to the gumbo. All right, so we'll come back when we're ready to add in the sausage and then also the chicken. So we got everything. It's been boiling now for about 15-20 minutes, and now we're going to take the sausage and we're going to add the sausage to the pots. And so we're just going to try to make it even among all the pots. And then what you're also going to do is you are going to turn this down to a low heat once you add in the sausage. And that is going to, then you're going to leave it alone for 1 hour to just simmer for an hour. So yeah, it's a lot of, for us it's a lot of sausage, for you it won't be as much. But then you want the pot to simmer for 1 hour. And then it just kind of does its magic to start melding all of those flavors that you've just added into the water, into the pot, with the roux and the nuttiness of the roux, and all the green peppers and the celery and the onions, and then the bay leaf and the cayenne pepper. Woo! Talking about some good stuff here. Mm-hmm. And then also some of that the juices from the sausage is going to start mixing in with that roux also. I can feel a little bit of that sausage grease on my hands. And so, yeah, we just want that. And then later on, we're going to add in the chicken, because this is a chicken and sausage gumbo. And so, but at this point in time, we're just going to add in the sausage. It takes, because that flavor from the sausage takes a little bit longer to meld in with all that roux and stuff like that. And then the chicken kind of gets, there's not much flavor to chicken, so, but the sausage, there's lots of flavor too. All right, so we're going to come back when we do the, ouch, that burned me again. I'm burning myself all over the place today. And so so we'll come back later and show you what the next step is after this. All right, we're back, and we forgot to tape it, but we baked off a whole bunch of chicken, and then we took it and we chunked it. And let's see.
What does chunking mean? Can you give them a definition of chunking?
We diced it into little quarters, and so you can kind of see that it's.
In the way they
So, anyways, it's just little pieces here that we broke them up into, and so now that's in here, and that's catching all the flavors that we had in there from earlier. And now we've already put in a little bit of okra, but we are now putting okra in, and okra helps to thicken it up with the. Just the way it is with the slime and stuff that it has that goes along with the okra. So, 30 minutes, I know, right? The slime.
Do you want me to show your sous chefs?
Yeah, you can show my sous chefs. They're amazing sous chefs. I have all these.
Let me get the mask back on.
Put the mask back on. You got Christina and John Allen helping out right now, cutting up the okra, so that way we can throw it in, and then we'll be serving these 3 pots to over 100 people here in about an hour. And so we praise the Lord and thank everybody for who has been given extra donations and stuff to go towards feeding people in this area. So, yeah, that's how you do gumbo. It is delish. We'll show a plate once we plate up the first ones. But other than that, yeah, chicken and sausage gumbo. All right, so we're at the end here, and we've delivered everything, and I told you I'd show you what it looks like in a bowl. So here's what it looks like. So I put a big scoop of rice in the middle, and then I took my gumbo and I just ladled it over the top. And I already tasted a little bit. It is absolutely delicious. And so enjoy, and I hope you enjoy making some gumbo soup. It's amazing. See you later.